Hey guys, WantClue here. In today's video of Bitaxe 101, we want to take a look on how to set up and get started with VS Code and KiCad on your Mac. I just recently got myself a Mac for a couple of reasons, and now I want to share the experience with you and give you some guidance on how you can get started on a Mac, MacBook or whatever, because I do have a Mac Mini. So let's get started and right into it. So let's see how this works. Now we are on my Mac, and I obviously do have KiCad and Visual Studio Code already installed, but I want to quickly show you the process and then also show you what you need in order to get started, for example with ESP-Miner, the firmware that's running on your Bitaxe, or also on KiCad, because, well, basically you need to have a couple of tools in order to work with them. And this right here is not meant to be some sort of guide on how to learn these things. It's more or less like, how do you get started with it? If you guys are interested in actually seeing like, how do you start coding, or how do you learn to code, or how do you learn KiCad, well, just leave me a comment down below so that I do know that you guys are interested. I already have a couple of ideas on how I could teach you KiCad, or even how I can teach you writing C code in order to get started with like minor projects. But for today's thing, I just want to show you what you need to do. So the first thing obviously is the KiCad webpage, and the second thing is the Visual Studio Code webpage. For both of them, you can just download that for Mac, then it will be in your downloads folder. So if we just quickly do that, then I do have this DMG file, and I'm currently in the browser Brave. If you use Safari or anything else, well, then you just open up your Finder and then you double click on it, and then a window pops up. Let me quickly do that. Like this window here, you see that? It's this window. You just drag that and move it over into applications. I'm not used to that. Like, I come from the Linux world and previously Windows, so it was a little bit weird to see that, but that's basically how you install apps on your Mac. So probably most of you already do know that, but I just wanted to mention that it was weird for me, because it was. Apart from that, you do the same for KiCad, and then you have the programs. Let me quickly open up Visual Studio Code and show you the initial steps you need to do to get started with ESP-Miner for modifying or changing anything on the firmware. So on my right hand side, we are now in Visual Studio Code, and I do have already a ton of things installed in it, but I want to show you how you can get used with that and what you need to install. So the first very important thing is, for example, if you want to write anything in the Espressif framework with ESP-IDF, which is the underlying framework that allows us to compile and create the firmware for your Bitaxe, then you need to have a add-on or a plugin installed. If you come over to this extensions tab here, you just need to look for Espressif, and the thing we have is ESP-IDF. You need to install that. You will see this tiny install button right here, as for example with the ESP-IDF web here, and then you install it. So now we are actually in the repository of myself. Like, I do have my own fork of ESP-Miner for doing changes and then pushing it to the main repository. But yeah, what I showed you with the installation of Espressif, if we take a look in here, we should be able to configure this. If you do install this for the very first time, you will get like an overview where it says like, well, Express setup or advanced setup. I think I can go there. No, I don't know how to access this page again on Mac. Something is different here. But in the end of the day, what you want to do is you want to click on Express setup, and then you want to, there is a menu where you can select the actual version you want to install. You want to make sure that you use the latest, which in today's terms is version 5.5.2. And then you do have this installed. Down here will be this bar appearing with a couple of things. One thing that is really important for the Bitaxe firmware is you need to configure it to be an ESP32S3. And then actually when it comes to building it on your own, you can just simply click on build project down here, and then afterwards via USB connect your Bitaxe and click on flash. That should immediately work. I mean, one thing that you actually do need to build the firmware is you need Node.js. So if you don't have Node.js, you need to install that as well, but that is out of the scope of it, because I just wanted to show you how to do it on the Mac for the simple reason. In one of the next videos, I can also show you more about that. But that is basically how you get started. I also do have down here the ESP IDF terminal. And as you do see, I am currently in the block found dismiss notify branch, which is a new feature coming to the BitX for the next version. And I can go in here and, for example, use the -- version to figure out what version I'm currently using. And as you do see, I'm on the version 5.5.2. The -dirty tag is normal. That is because there are some local changes on my ESP IDF setup that I do have on my PC. That could be fixed, but it's not really important if you do local development. It's only important if you want to ship something like a product and have firmware that is actually doing certain things and it's looking just better. For that, we do have an automation workflow on GitHub. So don't worry about that. It's really simple. If you want to use the command instead of using the buttons down there, you can also use idf.py and then build to build actually the firmware. And if you have your BitX attached via USB, you can add the flash, so it automatically flashes that. For this, you need to come down here and select the actual COM USB serial that you want to have. It might be that you need to change a couple of things on your Mac. I think I didn't need to do that, but in some cases it might be the thing. If you do have an older version of a BitX, like the 601, the very first ones, or the Supra, then make sure that you use a USB-C to USB-A adapter, because there was an issue with the early versions of the Supra and the Gamma where we just missed 2 resistors, so the MacBooks with USB-C to USB-C were not capable of actually detecting the BitX. But if you use a USB-C to USB-A and then back to USB-C to the BitX, then it will be detected. So that's just some quick information there for you. So these are the basic commands that you can use. If I just put in idf.py build, you will see it will try to build it. Let me see where I'm at. I am currently in a dir where I have things changed. So I need to do a idf.py full clean, which is just like, hey, please clean up my repository. Afterwards, I usually delete the so-called stconfig file as well as the build dir, which is in my case important because if you change certain things, then you want to make sure that these things are not overlapping with your changes. And especially if you move between branches, then you don't want to do that. So if I now do an idf.py build, it will start building the project. And as you do see, we have an ESP32 selected in here. The language is supported, the LVGL is the correct one, etc., etc. And now it's doing its thing, its magic in the background. And as soon as that is done, we have built the firmware locally on our PC, and we can move on and actually do the idf.py flash if we have the BitX attached. That is more or less everything about VS Code. And now let's go over to KiCad, because for that we can go over on the left hand side here back to bitx.org into the repositories, and then we can take a look into, let me see, the BitX Gamma, for example. And in here what you can do is you can download this zip archive, and afterwards you can open up KiCad. I quickly do that. The installation for KiCad is the same as for VS Code, so just do that. And this is how KiCad would look like here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly take a look into recent projects that I do had. Let's take the NerdNOS as an example. Sure, we could do that with the BitX Gamma, but in this case, I'm just quickly going to do that with the NerdNOS. If you take a look on the PCB editor here, we do see we have all of the things, and now you can actually get started with doing changes on your device or whatever you want to do. Maybe you want to change some stuff on the BitX, but that's basically it. So I assume you guys want to learn a little bit more about KiCad and VS Code. Just let me know that in the video comments down below so that I do know that, and I'll make more videos about how to actually use these tools. With that, I think I have covered now every single operating system. I think I showed that on Windows, on Linux, and now also on Mac. So now you know how to get started with these software thingies. And the next step, the logical next step, will be that I will show you how to use them and how to gain knowledge about them. That's it for today's video. I thank everybody for tuning in, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any further videos. Thank you guys for watching.